So where you should be left is here. You've got a folder, last name underscore security VO. Inside of that folder, you've got your 3 subfolders. All right. Couple of you asked about, hey, why is the exports footage on? Why is the exports folder on top? It just defaults to alphabetical order. So if you numbered your folders, great. If you didn't number your folders, not that big of a deal. Just that we do have the subfolders for our different assets to go. So in your footage folder, again, you should have your B-roll. All right, I just took Camera 7's B-roll this morning. All right, so I just took 8 shots over there. So this is one group's footage. Okay, you shouldn't have anything in your Premiere project folder or your exports folder yet. All right, bless you. All right, so I open up Premiere Pro. All right, some of you guys see this where you're like, hey, Mr. Fabs, Premiere's not opening. Okay, the word up here says Premiere. This is the application that you're in. If I switch to Google Chrome, see how it says Chrome? Okay, I minimize that and click on my Premiere. Premiere's open. I just don't have any windows open. So some of you guys see this from time to time. All right, look up in that upper left corner. If it doesn't say Premiere, potentially there's a problem. If it does say Premiere, the application is open. You just don't have anything open inside of it. Okay, so you can click File, New, and Project, and then that window is going to populate. All right, you guys are used to seeing this window here. All right, so Fabiano underscore security VO is our project name. It always matches the master folder, and then the location is going to be, again, left to right, desktop, security VO is what we're working on, and I'm creating a Premiere project, so it goes in that folder. I hit select, and I hit create. All right. And I go straight to the edit window, and I import from here. All right, I am in the audio workspace because this is the last space I was in. I need to change my workspace to the editing workspace is the one that I like to work in when I'm building a project. You can use assembly. I find editing the easiest, and I'm trying just to maximize. Come on. All right, I'm just going to go here. Come on. All right. Okay. I need to import my footage, so I double click in my import media area. And again, navigate, desktop, security VO. I'm just selecting the folder. All right, I can't tell you how many times I've said this. I've showed it, and then when I go into the edit room, there's still people that are going and importing individual clicks. Just select the folder. Everybody say it out loud. Just select the folder. Okay, you hit import. Look, the entire folder comes in. All right, number one, you're not wasting time dragging individual clips in. Number two, it keeps everything in the folder, okay? That way, when you're not using it, you can collapse it, and now you have much more open space down here, okay? Here's another thing that people fall into. They don't create a sequence, and so what happens is I just drag my first shot over the sequence, not thinking about anything. Now I have a sequence that is named A007 underscore 1119 1644 underscore C012. And right underneath that, I have a raw video clip named A007 underscore 1119 1644 underscore C012. Okay, we don't want that. Okay, so I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete the sequence. I should just be able to hit delete, and it deletes the sequence. Okay, I don't want to do that. It creates confusion. Yes, there are different icons. All right, the little purple icon with the green audio. This is a raw clip. And your sequence icon has the 3 little bars representing tracks. All right, that's your A1, V1, V2, all that stuff. What we should do instead is we're going to create a new item, a new sequence. Okay, we want to make sure that that sequence is HD 1080p at 29.97 frames per second. Okay, that's what we shoot in 4K, but we're going to edit in 1080p. I'm going to go over that in a second. All right, so I create a new sequence with these settings. Okay, it's under HD 1080p, 29.97 frames per second. I'm just going to give it a name. I want it to be Fabiano underscore security TYVO. I hit OK. All right, now I have my it's outside of my footage folder. So when I collapse the footage folder, I can still see my sequence. B, it's named correctly. C, it has the correct output settings that I want it to have when we export. Okay, what is going to happen? My video is shot in 4K, and this window is 1080p. This window is smaller than the video. So what's going to happen is the video is going to appear cropped like it's zoomed in. We're going to fix that at the end. Okay? Don't worry about it. We're going to fix it at the end with one move. Okay? This is to help students when we have framing issues. Students frame things wrong all of the time. Okay? And when we shoot in 4K and we edit in 1080p, we can move that clip around without diluting the video quality or the resolution of it. Okay? So it's actually a tool to help you with framing issues. So if something's not in the rule of thirds, we can kind of adjust the positioning and things like that and fix it so that no one is any the wiser. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So our first clip here, exterior wide shot of the building. This looks good. I'm going to set my in somewhere away from the beginning. Doesn't really matter. I just like to get rid of that camera shake when we hit the record button. So I just go somewhere there. And the first shot needs to be how long? Not 6. That's 4. It's got to be 4. 3, 4, stop. That's 5 seconds. So go backwards. That's 3:29. 4. I had it right. I'll show you where I'm looking in just a second. All right, that's 4 seconds. All right, I'm looking right here. 4:00. My in to my out is 4 seconds. All right, if I move the out, that number will get bigger or smaller. All right, depending on it's measuring from blue point to blue point, how long it is. So if you're wondering, you can simply look at that. All right, and again, I'm just assembling my timeline here. I'm dragging this down to V1 and A1. Again, there's no dialogue, so it doesn't matter. I can keep my stuff stacked right on top of each other. It's going to tell me the clip does not match the sequence's settings. The clip is 4K, the sequence is 1080p. So it's saying, do you want to change the sequence to match the clip? No, I do not. I want to keep the existing settings. Okay? So you'll notice, now if I zoom in on my timeline so you can see the clip, okay? You'll notice the raw clip on the left is what was shot, and this clip is zoomed in. That's because the video is yay big. It's somewhere down like here, okay? We will fix this at the end. Don't worry about this when you edit it together. We'll fix it at the end, all right? The next thing I'm going to do is just assemble. I'm going to do this kind of quickly because this stuff you know how to do, okay? And I'm just going to make sure that I'm sequencing them. Now, there's no matching action, okay? There's nobody clapping. There's nobody tossing a ball up and down and things like that. So when I say sequencing, I just need to make sure that my angle from shot to shot to shot to shot to shot changes, okay? So I've got this wide shot. I'm going in on this other shot here, and this is 2 seconds. Let's make it closer to 3. I'm going to pull that down. Put my cursor at the end. See, this is right underneath it. So this angle on the left is different than the angle on the right. I'm happy with that. So cool. So I can use this shot in order. That's fine. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, stop. All right. 4 seconds away from 3 seconds. Pretty close there. Again, we'll fix the framing in a minute. This one goes back out wide. In Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, stop. That's 4 seconds. It's fine. It's as long as it's 4 or under, we're good. All right. Maybe they start to, let's see if they have any parking lot B-roll. Maybe it's time to kind of go to the parking lot. All right. So here, like at the beginning of this shot, they've got this kind of camera shake. I don't want to use that, right? That's why we hold you guys held this shot for 11 seconds. That's good. I don't need to use the shaky part. I can get my in after that's over. There. All right, so that's kind of a wide shot of the parking lot. Let's see if we got any. All right, we got a different wide shot, so not. Ideally, we got like a tighter shot or a medium shot of the cars. That's 4 seconds. So here I'm going to be close to, I'm at 16. This is going to put me at like 24 or 20. And then my last shot, maybe I want this security camera as my last shot. I'll take this wide shot one. This is fine. And I set an in. It's 10 seconds. It needs to be at least 6. It can be longer than 6. I'm just going to get my out. I'm just going to set my out right before the end of the clip. Again, just want to get rid of any potential camera shake from when we hit the record button. And I can drag this one out. All right, so this needs to be at least 6 seconds. Okay, so my timeline is now created. I'm going to zoom out so you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shots, and I'm at 30 seconds on the dot, 29 seconds and 29 frames. Okay, and again, I'm looking at that. My whole timeline right here, 29 seconds, 29 frames, seconds, minutes, hours. Okay, so I'm at 30 seconds. All right, the whole VO is probably the average. Reading them, grading them this morning. If you actually wrote an actual VO and didn't half do the assignment, you're probably around 20 to 25 seconds, meaning that this 30-second timeline for most of you is going to be enough. Okay, you should cross-reference it with your script and kind of read it to yourself and see how long that's going to take and stuff like that. But for the most part, this is going to be enough. Okay, and again, the average person is going to talk about we're being watched at the East Cooper CAS. That's because the principal installed a bunch of new security cameras around the building. The security cameras are meant to watch us entering and exiting, as well as monitor the parking lots. Principal Jeff Blankenship says student safety is a top priority. The cameras cost $15,000, and the school paid for them with a safety grant. And we get out, and boom, I'm right there. That's kind of roughly what most of you guys, that's the structure most of you guys did. So that's going to fit. Yes, sir.
Is it okay when the edit, the VO is longer than our script?
It should be longer than your script. Yes, the VO should be longer than your script. All right, again, some of you are going to stumble. Maybe the teleprompter is going to be a little slow for the person doing it for the first time. Maybe the technical director takes the video too early. Maybe they accidentally take it while you're still on camera and they weren't supposed to. Well, now you've got that pad to cover the difference anyway. So there's a lot of things that could happen. So yes, again, what I kind of read, when I got done, I was at 25 seconds. The video that I cut is 29 seconds. I want that pad. I want room for air. Okay? I want room for air. So I'm happy with what I got right there. All right? 2 things we got to do now. Or 3 things. We got to do audio, we got to fix the framing of the shots, and we got to export. And the export stuff you guys know. All right? The audio is a couple of different steps. Okay? Because we're not dealing with A-roll. This is only a B-roll sequence. We're not dealing with any dialogue sound. All right? So the first thing we're going to do is select every single clip in the timeline. Put my mouse inside of one of the blue boxes. All right? And I'm going to right-click. Right-click, and if I go down to audio channels, okay, this matrix here, all right, media source, all right, raw clip, and then where it says clip 1, this is really your timeline. So the raw clip, what is on the left ear of the raw clip? What audio did we record on the left ear yesterday? Huh? Nope. None. Why none?
Because it connects to channel 2, which is connected to the right ear.
Right. The little lavalier mics that are in your pouches, those go to the left ear. If they're not plugged in and turned on, we're not getting any sound into that left ear. That's by design. The natural sound is going into the right ear. So the media source, the right source is going to the right source on the timeline. The left source is going to the left source on the timeline. However, there's nothing in the left source. I want the right source to go to the left on the timeline, and I want the right source to go to the right on the timeline. So we just need to adjust this matrix. That's it. All right, Jeremy, if you don't know how to do this, it's going to be on you because your head's down. All right, so all I'm doing is selecting all these clips, going to this audio channels matrix, and checking off this box right here, this one that I keep toggling on and off, and I hit OK. And now, see, you can see on the audio meters that are going up and down, they're both equal. They're both equal because it's the same exact sound on the left and the same exact sound on the right. That's called dual mono. Okay? So I'm happy with that. All right? The next thing I got to do, this is what you guys are familiar with. So that was the extra step. Again, this is getting recorded. Okay? So again, I'm going to select all of my clips. Okay? I'm going to select the clips that they're tagged as dialogue. Premiere Pro tagged them as dialogue. We don't want that. So I'm going to select the ones that are tagged as dialogue, and I'm going to clear the audio type. 4 of them were selected as dialogue because 4 of them remain highlighted down here. Okay, so I untagged those. Now all of them are clear. So now it says tag your clips to use the Essential Sound panel. I'm going to tag them as ambience because they're all nat sound. Okay, Premiere Pro probably heard some talking in the background, and they probably just assumed it's dialogue. Right? It's a computer. It doesn't know what our purpose is. Okay? Then I'm going to auto match the loudness. And they're all auto matched. So now they're all the same, but they're still too loud. Okay? They're closer to dialogue level than they are to nat level. Okay? But they're all the same. So now I can adjust the entire track. I have 7 clips on this track. I can do clip by clip if I want to. I don't want to. That takes too much time. All right? I'm going to go to a tool called the Audio Track Mixer. You have an audio clip mixer. Okay? You have track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4. This clip mixer will adjust the volume of whatever clip your cursor is over in the timeline, clip by clip. So if I drag this fader down, it's only working on this first clip. I want to do it to the entire timeline because the entire timeline is the same volume. Right? So it's very easy. We go to our window menu and I click Audio Track Mixer. And the Audio Track Mixer will pop up right here. Now, when I work on track 1 and I take audio 1, so it's labeled at the bottom, when I pull this fader down, I'm now pulling the audio down for every single clip in the timeline. Why can I do it for every clip in the timeline at once? Because they're all the same, right? So it's one extra step. It's still a time saver. And I'm just going to drag this down and check it. All right, what number am I looking for on the audio mixer? Or the meter down here. What number am I looking for nats down here? Minus what? Minus 30. Okay? So now it's a guess and check. But I'm doing the guessing and checking to the timeline at one time. So as I play it out, that's still a little too loud. That's probably okay. All right? So I dragged it down 10 notches. Okay? I dragged it down 10 notches. All right, now the entire timeline, when I play it out, and it's just laggy, but it's right around that 30 mark. That's what I want. Okay? Why do I want that? Who is going to be talking over this video? Whoever's sitting at that chair, right? And we want to hear their mic loud and clear. We want to hear the exterior sound, but it does not need to overpower our anchor. Okay, so that's how we duck the nats when we have no dialogue for the AI system to use. Okay, we still auto match them, and then from there we take the audio track mixer and pull the entire track down. All right, you can go clip by clip, it's just going to take you longer. All right, that's the audio part. Again, this is getting recorded for you to review. Okay, the next thing is just making all the clips fit into the window. So again, I select all my clips. They're all highlighted in white. With my mouse in the middle of one of the blue clips, I right-click, just like I did for the audio channels. This time I'm going to go further down to the bottom, and I'm going to click Fit to Frame, and watch what happens to the video. It fits right back down. Do what?
Almost work stuff I like manually
Yeah.
zoom out for each clip.
You manually go. So here's what happens. Okay, so I'm going to show you. I click on if I double click on this clip, I want to bring it back up in my source window. I'm going to go to my effect controls, and the scale is now 50. All right, because again, 4K it's 4 times the resolution, but it's twice the physical size of 1080p. So at 100%, okay, if I make this one clip go to 100 on the scale, that's where it was. So what we did is we shrunk it down 50% with one click of the button. I could go through every single clip and double click it and go to the effect controls and go to scale and type. I could do that 7 times if I want to. Or at the end, I could just select them all, right click, go all the way down and fit them to the frame. Okay? And that is how my third block does it, my second block does it. It is the price, it's an extra step, but it's the price we pay. Let's say this shot, let's put this back at 100. Okay, this is well framed on the rule of thirds right here. Let's say it wasn't. Okay, let's say that this shot was way up in this corner. Okay, well, what I can do is I can adjust the position and I could reframe it. I didn't have to blow the clip up beyond 100%. If I blow it up beyond 100, it starts to get pixelated and grainy. Okay, and I fixed the framing. The other thing is this shot by itself, if I go back to 50, okay, now I've got the black space because I moved the position. This shot by itself is more of a wide shot, so I can mess around with it. It gives me some freedom. It just gives me some freedom to manipulate the clip inside of the window. Okay, so that's why we do that. But I'm going to undo myself until I get back to where we were. All right, so that's how you do that. All right, once you're done, you export it. Again, you click on the export window up here. I hit Command M. All right, my file name is already created for me because it's pulling from the sequence. All right, how do I know that? It says source. What source is getting exported? Fabiano Security VO. It does not say A001, right? There's no confusion here. It's getting exported at this resolution, this frame rate, all that good stuff, and the entire source is getting exported. Not into out, not a raw clip, the entire source is getting exported. All right, that should be a review. All right, so my name is correct. I do need to change the location because it wants to go into the Premiere project. I want to put it in the exports window, save it, and export it. Okay, now